Hudson County View, live at Uncut. I'm your host, the guy that lifts barbell plates, eats T-bone steaks, and has the demeanor that's sweeter than a chocolate cake, John Arhitis. And today, of course, as we do every week, we're going to talk the latest and greatest in Hudson County news. Certainly, there's been a lot going on. Just yesterday, late last night, actually, we heard that Esther Suarez, who is, of course, the Hudson County prosecutor, is going to seek another term. She will be reappointed, it seems. She has the support of all three state senators, who is, of course, Sandra Cunningham, Nick Sacco, and Brian Stack. She was, of course, long rumored to be seeking the U.S. attorney post. It seemed like it was heading in that direction. She had a lot of high-profile endorsements, and it looked like she also had the support of U.S. Senator Bob Menendez, if you read the Star-Ledger's Tom Moran. But now it looks like she's going to be staying on the home front, so we're going to talk a little bit about that. We're also going to be talking about a lawsuit out of Jersey City where an aide to Public Safety Director James Shea, that's Mike Manzo, is accused of halting two construction projects as a form of retaliation. So we're going to tell you what happened there. I also had a chance to speak with Mayor Fulop outside of his fundraiser at Surf City on Tuesday night, and we specifically talked about some reforms going on that he would like to see going on in Jersey City that are based out of Trenton, and that was the Civilian Complaint Review Board, and also the payroll tax reform. So obviously we're going to chat about that. And in anticipation of the Memorial Day holiday, I have one of my good friends and someone who has been a friend to the veteran space for a long time, Troy Mack, and he's going to sit down with me, and we're going to chat right after this commercial break.
Cutting-edge surgical care is right here in Secaucus.
Robotic surgery is safer.
Shorter hospital stays.
Smaller abdominal incisions, the size of an M&M. Here at Hudson Regional, we provide world-class robotic surgical care.
Good Friend Self-Storage in North Bergen, New Jersey, a controlled facility equipped with state-of-the-art security, packing supplies, a Refer Friend program, and multiple loading docks convenient for commercial use. Located just off of Route 3 at 4301 Tunnelly Avenue, Route 1 and 9. Call 201-867-2444 or visit us on the web today. Good Friend Self-Storage. Let us be your good friend.
Hudson County View, live at Uncut, John Arhitis. And as I just mentioned a moment ago, today I'm joined with Troy Mack, who's a 2021 Urban Leaders Fellow, and he's also the commander at the American Legion in Weehawken. And Troy, thanks so much for joining me.
Wonderful to be here, John. It's always a pleasure to be able to talk things going on in our communities and hopefully to ensure everybody has a nice day. Thanks,
Troy. So on that point, obviously, we had you on today due to the holiday. We, of course, remember our veterans, and it's one of the most important days of the year for you guys, and of course we appreciate your service. Just tell us the significance of what it means to you and what it means for the community that you've helped serve in North Hudson.
Well, Memorial, of course, and I appreciate that. Memorial Day is our opportunity to not just remember those who are still with us right now, with whom we share our lives and our communities and our families, but it's specifically an opportunity for all of us, both in veterans ourselves and all of our fellow neighbors and fellow citizens and residents here in Hudson County, to remember those who didn't come home. And that's the significance of Memorial Day versus, say, Veterans Day in November, is that Memorial Day is the opportunity for us to take, with great sobriety and solemnity, an opportunity to make sure that they stay present with us, that our buddies, our friends, our colleagues, our comrades who weren't able to come back to these American shores can still be remembered and lifted up. But it's also a call to action. The day itself, when we get together on this weekend and on Monday to honor our glorious dead, it should also be an opportunity for us to commit ourselves to their legacy every day that follows. And that's one of the important things for us to talk about today, John, is once we're done with the parades, once we're done with the tributes and the celebrations, what are we going to do throughout this coming summer of 2021 and in the weeks and months ahead to really make sure that our commitment to those who gave all continues on every day of our lives?
Very good, Troy. So, on that point, I know this is something, again, you've worked on for many years, probably most of your adult life, and when we're talking about veterans in North Hudson and beyond, when they're looking for, food, when they're looking for shelter, when they're looking for job services, even maybe just like a new outfit so they could go on those interviews, where could they look in this area to get some help?
Well, we're really blessed throughout Hudson County to be in an area where there's a range of veteran service organizations available that can help out in the nonprofit space. At the same time, I really am grateful for County Executive Tom DeGeese and his entire staff and the great work that the County Health and Human Services Department under Director Toon and the work that its Office of Veteran Services provides all the residents of Hudson County. The work that Fernando Colon and Joanne Northgrave have offered all of us here in Hudson has been truly stellar, and they deserve to have great credit for that. So if our fellow veterans need assistance, one resource for them is county government and the Office of Veteran Services. At the same time, through our various veteran service organizations like the American Legion, the VFW, and post 9/11 organizations like the Mission Continues, there are multiple different helps and supports available to veterans in this area. Veterans can also call a variety of different hotlines, to include the New Jersey Veterans Benefits Hotline at 888-8NJ-VETS, and be able to get connected and information about state level services as well. Because that's one of the things, John, for us to talk about today, is that there are supports available at the local level, municipal and county, as well as at the state and federal levels, that all can be leveraged to help out those who have served our country and have served this great American project. And one of those places at the federal level that is useful for people to know about is the Secaucus Veterans Center, where there's a wonderful team and great outreach personnel like Scott Dadadian, who are working every single day to make sure that veterans have the support and help that they need to make it to the next tomorrow.
Thank you, Troy. With that, just hold that thought. We're going to take a quick break from our sponsors, but we'll be right back.
Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, Jersey City. Hudson County's only monument maker, serving all faiths and cemeteries. Design, studio, and launch inventory on site. Cemetery inscriptions and custom orders welcome. Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, just south of Secaucus Road. Craftsmanship that will last for all eternity. Burns Brothers, Jersey City, Albert H. Hopper, North Arlington. Visit us on the net.
At Hudson Regional Hospital, we promise to be prepared for your emergency.
We promise to provide world-class robotic surgical care.
We promise to treat you like family.
To provide accurate diagnostic care.
To provide the most innovative orthopedic care at your doorsteps.
We promise to treat your baby like our own.
To never stop investing in the best of spinal care.
To be with you every step of the way.
Here at Hudson Regional Hospital, we promise to take care of our community.
A brand new truck isn't just a brand new truck when it's tough enough to have best-in-class available payload and smart enough to know that a cab can also be an office. A truck equipped with best-in-class available towing that asks, why can't all that power more than just this truck? No, your brand new truck isn't just a brand new truck when it's the all-new F-150. Tough this smart can only be called F-150.
Hudson County View live at Uncut. John Arhitis, and I'm still here with one of our veteran leaders in the community, Troy Mack. So Troy, let's talk a little bit policy. I mean, unbeknownst to most of us, sometimes even to people like me that are pretty in tune with what's going on in Trenton, there's legislation for the veterans that is going through fairly regularly, and there was a pretty big bill signed last month by Governor Phil Murphy, as you're obviously well aware. And the long story short is, especially in recent years, a lot of people in the armed services have been discharged simply due to their sexual orientation. And this is a bill that would help them get that status. Let's say they were dishonorably discharged, move back to honorably discharged, which helps them tremendously with their benefits. Is that an accurate summation?
That's exactly correct. Last month, the governor signed a piece of legislation that will help LGBTQ veterans more easily access the benefits that they earn through service to this great country. Previously, there were a variety of obstacles and hills to climb for LGBTQ veterans to be able to benefit from a variety of services at both the state and federal levels, and particularly at the state level. And what the piece of legislation that was recently signed does is streamline the process so that LGBTQ veterans will be able to receive support from the Department of Military Affairs and Veterans Affairs. The shorthand in the veteran space for that is DMAVA. And DMAVA veteran service officers, which are located throughout the state, will be trained on how to help connect LGBTQ veterans to resources that they have not had access to in the past, and at the same time help veterans more broadly with upgrade of service discharge. So the discharge characterization is the thing we talk about when we're saying if somebody has an honorable discharge, etc. And coming out of the previous decades, it was difficult to have your characterization of discharge upgraded or reviewed effectively. And what's happening now is that DMAVA will be providing veteran service officers training to help out veterans, specifically our LGBTQ veterans, but also those who deployed multiple times to Iraq, to Afghanistan. The stresses of those combat deployments build up, and no one should be reducible to their single worst day if it is possible to be able to help them get the services and support they need to be productive members of our communities again. So we're really excited about that.
And for our veterans, who sounds like this is something they could use a hand in, like how could they reach out and get those services?
Awesome. I really want to take time to thank Hudson Pride Center for its work on really championing our LGBTQ veterans and making sure that that need was elevated effectively through this process, along with partners at Garden State Equality. And if any veterans in Hudson County who are LGBTQ need assistance utilizing the streamline of service from the legislation, they can contact Hudson Pride Center. At the same time, veterans more broadly on these issues and on others can contact the New Jersey Veteran Benefits Hotline at 888-8NJ-VETS and get connected to service navigators who will be able to help them through those processes.
All right, thanks, Troy. So when we're talking, we talked a lot about the county and the state. Is there anything on the local level? As you know, like not everyone in the North Hudson area has a car, for example.
That's right.
Not everyone has internet access. So for those people that are really looking for something that's within a stone's throw of their home, is there anything that they could count on?
Well, there's a couple different opportunities before us at the municipal level, not just in the North Hudson, but really county-wide. And there are ways that we can provide and connect veterans to the services and opportunities they need. One of those is by working alongside the New Jersey State Veterans Chamber of Commerce, which has a program referred to as it's a veteran-friendly status program, where municipalities and counties can meet certain criteria that are considered best policy for the veteran space. These include 6% of workforce as veterans. It also includes a percentage of government contracts going to veteran-owned businesses. By meeting these kinds of policy targets, municipalities are better able to really care for and nurture not just veterans, but also their spouses, their children, and build up and utilize some great resources for leadership, for service, and for the overall health of our neighborhoods. I would also want to point out that there's New Jersey has a We Value Our Veterans Community Award available. And it also provides additional kinds of targets that municipalities and the county could try to pursue, which would further enable our veterans to know they have a home here that welcomes them in Hudson County, while also positioning them for the future. As you know, John, there are parts of Hudson County that are zoned as opportunity zones, that are urban enterprise zones, and that are eligible for New Jersey Redevelopment Agency support. These are all things that we tap into to really invigorate and innovate a veterans entrepreneurial space and support veteran-owned businesses moving forward past Memorial Day into summer 2021 and beyond.
Very good, Troy. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Always a pleasure.
Appreciate it.
Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for watching, but we're not yet done yet. We are going to take a quick break from our sponsors, though.
Consumer Carpets, 3408 Kennedy Boulevard in the Jersey City Heights, your one-stop store for residential and commercial floor treatments. Carpeting, linoleum, tiles, laminates, hardwood floors, area rugs, remnants. All major brands, all in stock. Free estimates, same-day installation. Consumer Carpets, it's savings, selection, installation. Credit cards and debit cards accepted. Financing available. Consumer Carpets, price to fit your budget, installation to fit your schedule. On the net at consumercarpets.com. Consumer Carpets, Jersey City, 201-792-2712.
Newport, the luxury waterfront community on the Hudson River, offers a quality of life you deserve in 10 high-rise rental towers with amenities such as the on-site Newport Path subway, light rail and ferry service, Newport Town Square, 3 playgrounds, dog run, upscale restaurants, retail giants like Sears, JCPenney, Macy's, and Target. Morton Williams Supermarket is just outside your front door. A health and fitness club, spa, skating rink, and medical facilities are also on site. NewportNJ.com. Enjoy the New York skyline from Newport Town Square. Manhattan is just one path stop away or quick ride through the Holland Tunnel. Nursery and private elementary schools all on site. 12-screen movie theater at the Newport Center Mall. Want to visit Newport? Stay at the Westin or Marriott Hotel. Go to NewportNJ.com for details. Newport has luxurious towers, great restaurants, shopping, New York skyline views, schools, playgrounds, a marina and yacht club, gym, spa, fine wine, fine living. It's incredible. It's you. NewportNJ.com. Newport, live like you want.
Hudson County View live at Uncut. John R. Highness. So, a bit of a somber couple segments here, but, very, very notable over the past week. Let's talk about this shooting in Jersey City. Sadly, there were 6 people shot and actually 2 of them fatally. So, obviously anytime there's a loss of life, we certainly, it's sad. It's extremely sad. I mean, what else can I say? But, these are all young men, and this looks like a situation that is going to require a fair amount of police resources. So let me just tell you about it. I mean, I'm sure most of you already know, but we heard on Saturday from Mayor Fulop, and he said last night was a tough one for our city and heartbreaking. Normally when a shooting occurs, I do my best to visit the family in private, and I don't post the specific issues. He goes on to say, yesterday's shooting is different in the number of people involved in this incident, and it not being something that happens too often. The shooting occurred in the area of Brinkerhoff Crescent when 6 people were sitting in a car and 2 shooters walked up to that specific car and began firing. So that was prior to getting the official details from the Hudson County Prosecutor's Office, who was investigating in conjunction with the Jersey City Police Department. And basically, we heard from Lincoln High School Principal Chris Gadsden, who you guys know joined us last week, and also a council-at-large candidate. And he actually mentioned that the 2 victims that were killed, Randy Black and Jason Crutcher, were former students of his. So he said, this hurts because it's draining when you see people so close to you die early. I helped both of you graduate from PS number 12 and saw you through high school. You are not just Rand Stiles and Hood, you are Randy and Jason. And, he goes on to, of course, wish his condolences and recall what kind of people they were, or kids they were really growing up. So the information from the prosecutor's office is as followed. At around 11:15 p.m. on Friday night, they identified a man as Randolph Black Jr., like I said, Randy Black, and he was transported to the Jersey City Medical Center before being pronounced dead about 11:15. And they also found Crutcher, and he was transported by EMS to the medical center and pronounced dead just before midnight at about 11:50 p.m. And there were 4 other people that were struck. Fortunately, they're all in stable condition. Those were 3 men and 1 woman. And their homicide unit's actively investigating the case. And if anyone should happen to have any information on this case, they're urged to contact the Hudson County Prosecutor's Office at 201-915-1345, or you could leave an anonymous tip at Hudson County Prosecutor's Office, nj.org/homicide-tip. So with that, this is an incident that I don't know if I would call it tragic. I don't know if I would really call it good news either, but it's an extremely unique set of circumstances. I think we could safely say that. So the El Patron restaurant on JFK Boulevard in Jersey City last week had something that I think you would probably only see once in a lifetime, where a 14-year-old girl had just given birth to a baby, and she walked in. There was a couple eating lunch. She dropped off the baby with the two strangers and then just walked back out. You know, obviously, it would seem she was very concerned and very nervous and, of course, scared about what to do with the current predicament. And there was a viral Facebook Live video that was captured, and it was really a sight to see. I mean, you know, just a brand newborn baby wrapped up in the towel, sitting on this woman's lap with the man, Walter Coca, her boyfriend, were just sitting down again, eating lunch. And I mean, look, he said, "What's up, Live? Wow, I cannot believe what just happened at my neighborhood restaurant with my special friend. A lady comes in and hands her baby, apparently a newborn, and runs out." I mean, that sums it up in a few words, but really just an unbelievable 17-minute video. I mean, you see the police respond, you see them give the baby oxygen, and again, it's something that I think is probably once in a lifetime, especially for a local news story. You know, fortunately, the good news about this is that both the mother and the child are okay. You know, they spoke to ABC7, and you know they're reporting that they are in good health, solid condition. So that's obviously great news, and this is a situation that we'll be monitoring in the coming days. So with that, we're actually going to take another break from our sponsors. We'll be right back.
Pen & Pencil Properties, Jersey City. Shaping the workplace with state-of-the-art office spaces that address your company desires. Building residences that define your home environment. Adjacent to all modes of transportation with on-site parking available. The right address, the right lease. Call 201-521-9000 or visit online at penandpencilproperties.com. Pen & Pencil Properties, building Jersey City for everyone.
Stevens Jersey City Ford, located right off of NJ 440 North. Across the Hudson Mall is your one-stop for all your automotive needs. Check out Ford's latest models like the 2020 Ford Fusion with its stylish looks and hybrid options, or the unparalleled high-performance 2020 Ford Mustang. The 2020 Ford F-150 Raptor is ready for those rugged off-road terrains with trail control. Need a mid-sized truck for your towing and hauling? The 2020 Ford Ranger will deliver. The 2020 Ford Escape is a luxury SUV that was made for comfort and adventure on the go. Returning is Ford's legendary Bronco, which takes you back to the true meaning of off-roading. They are now available for pre-order in our showroom or on our website. Let us help you find your next vehicle. Stevens Jersey City Ford, 201-432-7272.
Hudson County View, live at Uncut, John Arhitis. So a couple more topics, mostly out of Jersey City. First of all, as I mentioned at the top of the program, got to speak with Mayor Stephen Fulop outside of a fundraiser on Tuesday evening. And the two main topics were Civilian Complaint Review Board and payroll tax reform. And this was the reason we ended up talking about the CCRB is, of course, this is the one-year anniversary of George Floyd's murder. So we talked about that movement, social justice, and what it means for any kind of police reforms in Jersey City and beyond. And we talked about the payroll tax before because that's something that he came out about it Monday. He was asking the legislature to close a loophole that allows certain businesses to basically face no repercussions if they do not pay the 1% payroll tax on their gross payroll. So let's just go to the interview, and I'll let you hear it straight from the horse's mouth. Today, Mayor, needless to tell you, it's the one-year anniversary, unfortunately, of the murder of George Floyd. And, you know, this has, of course, led to social justice movements across the country. And a lot of people have called for police reforms in Jersey City and beyond. So what do you think is the next step in that whole movement?
Well, look, I think that we're thankful for the voice of the activists here in Jersey City that have been leading the charge on the CCRB statewide. And the hope is that we get the enabling legislation down in Trenton so we can implement a strong CCRB here in Jersey City. We want accountability and transparency, and the things that people are asking for from the activists, we agree with. We think those are reasonable things that will move the city forward. So it's frustrating at times that we don't see the progress in Trenton or the openness to have those changes happen. But, I think that ultimately those changes will be happening, and Jersey City will implement it.
Regarding school funding, so talking about that and collecting the payroll tax and how it is today versus how you would like to see it to be, what do you think are the next steps that need to be made, between the Assembly and the State Senate?
Okay, I think that Trenton needs to understand that, the draconian cuts that they've implemented here in the city are unfair and unreasonable, and following some arbitrary formula that they haven't followed for years upon years, and then suddenly implementing it in such an extreme way is grossly unfair to the residents here. And Jersey City contributes to the state more than any other city in the state of New Jersey, and I don't feel they've treated us fairly in this way. So we're going to continue to advocate for resources, and I think that hopefully they understand the position that we're in.
All right, and have you heard anything from the Assembly Speaker, the Senate President, anyone outside of...
Look, we spoke to the Speaker, and, he's terrific, and he's open to exploring changes. He understands the challenges. When we first went to Trenton with this payroll tax, OLS scored it as potentially being able to get $100 million for the municipality. It hasn't achieved that, largely because of the lack of transparency around how many employees an individual business has. And the process to find that out, if you were to do subpoenas and legal process on each individual business, would ultimately take years. So what we need is help from Trenton in order to clean that up, and that would be the easiest way to get tens of millions of dollars extra into the school system.
Hudson County View live at Uncut. So John Arhitis getting into the hurry up offense here. A couple more things. So there was a 10-page lawsuit filed at Hudson County Superior Court on Monday by a developer by the name of Mashi Sugar. He also has two related LLCs listed as plaintiffs at 25 Waverly Street and 125 Charles Street against the city of Jersey City and Mike Manzo. And worth mentioning that Jersey Digs was the first to report on this court filing, so props to them. But this is an interesting one. It says defendant Manzo has and is misusing the power of his official position to deprive plaintiffs of their constitutionally protected property rights. The lawsuit says, later calling his actions arbitrary, capricious, and/or unreasonable. The bottom line here is that Sugar at the address at 25 Waverly Street accidentally posted their 126 Charles Street, that's the other way around. At 126 Charles Street, they accidentally posted their permit, that's their traffic permit for 25 Waverly Street. That was reported back to the city, and apparently that was done by Manzo, according to the lawsuit. And they're saying that this is retaliation because they refused to become friends with him, and as a result, they had to feel the wrath of his heavy-handedness, as the lawsuit puts it. So, obviously, this is an interesting one. Manzo's a retired firefighter. You recall that he pleaded guilty to accepting a $5,000 bribe from Solomon Dweck, a federal informant posing as a developer. But because he wasn't an elected official, that charge ended up being thrown out. So before we part ways, just a little more on Esther Suarez. Let me just read briefly the statement that she put out there. She said, I have read speculation about my possibly being in contention for United States Attorney in New Jersey, and I would like to be clear that I intend to continue serving as prosecutor in Hudson County. Our office has made remarkable strides in doing the work to take guns, drugs, and gangs off the streets, and I look forward to the opportunity to continue working side by side with some of the most dedicated members of law enforcement our state has to offer. And we're out of time, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy the long weekend. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week.